Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show, where we get real about the struggles dancers face, from confidence battles to self-doubt, and how dance has the power to make us braver, stronger, and more unstoppable in every area of life. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness. And whether you're a seasoned dancer, a dance instructor, dance lover, or someone who's always wanted to dance but feels a little intimidated to start, this show is for you. Expect honest conversations, inspiring stories, and simple ways to bring more dance into your life, whether that's in the studio, on stage, or right in your living room. And if you're a dance instructor, we've got you covered with tips on how to grow your dance business, attract more students, and create a bigger impact through your passion for movement. So if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, own your movement, and dance yourself brave, let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness. And I'm so excited because I have Bree Jacobs here with me today. How are you doing, Bree?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right. Well, Bree Jacobs is actually a New York-based choreographer and dancer who founded Empire Dance Company in 2023. Her company is now the largest top-scoring adult dance company in South Jersey. Like, that's super exciting. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited to dive right in. So what I want to hear about, I always say, I want to hear it all from the beginning. So tell me about yourself and how you got started with dance.
Yeah, absolutely. My great grandmother was a dancer. My nana was a dancer. My mom was a dancer. My aunt was a dancer. Now I'm a dancer. So from the very beginning, just a long line of people that danced. I think now in this moment, myself and my cousin have probably danced the longest in our lives. So our family was more doing it recreationally, but I started as a kid and kind of have never stopped into adulthood. I grew up at a competition studio as a kid. I had a dance partner that I danced with 12 years. We competed our duets, mostly like jazz and musical theater, and competed with them all the way up until I graduated high school. I then went off to college. I was an accounting major, but I minored in dance. So I still was keeping dance present in my adult, like college lifestyle, I guess. I joined their dance team there. So I was doing the dance team, doing a dance minor while I was in college, and then transferred out of my dance team my junior year and joined a professional hip hop company based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And did that for a little bit. Started to take some adult dance classes after I kind of phased out of that company. Was just taking lots of classes. Then COVID hit and I was taking even more classes because things were offered virtually, and kind of just continued my dance training into being an adult. I was the producer of a full length Christmas show. That was the first time that was ever done before. And now, since then, I've opened my own dance company and I have, like you mentioned, the largest dance company in South Jersey. We have 55 members and it's just a bunch of adults that are in the same space of me, just trying to continue dancing after, kind of phasing out of maybe some of that high school, college dance atmosphere.
That's really cool. And I love how, you've gone through different types of dance and like different phases in your life. And you were like, you know what, I'm gonna find a way to keep dancing no matter what phase I'm in. So that's beautiful. But my next question is something that maybe, listeners might be like, well, clearly dance is in her blood. Her mama danced, her grandma danced, right? And my goal is to show people that anyone can dance, regardless, like if you think it's in your blood or not. So why don't you share a little bit of some of the struggles you faced along the way?
I think maybe as a kid, I would say the biggest struggle would be social life outside of dance. And then, like not knowing, kind of like being like a nerdy kid in school and like not knowing like how to fit in there. I think some of the challenges that I've had in my adult life as a dancer and kind of fitting into that, like everyone should and can and will dance if they want to, is like this work life balance, right? I work in a 9 to 5 job. It's really sometimes a 9 to midnight job, depending on the time of the year, and kind of explaining that part of my life to some, like bosses and things like that. And, just encouraging the work life balance to myself, to my managers, to my staff, things like that presents challenges that I would say, like, the advice to that would be just be upfront with your communication and just acknowledge, like, if this is something that is important to you, prioritizing it for yourself then allows other people to see that it's a priority in your life and then kind of pave that way for it to continue to be something that you're able to prioritize. And I think the other thing that I've struggled with as an adult dancer, like transitioning from a college and high school dancer, is I am not the same dancer that I was back then. And giving myself grace during the process of transitioning maybe to a new style or modifications or dance not looking the same when I was able to like hold my leg to my head and do a million turns and taking care of my body in other ways to be able to continue to dance. I think dance is made for everybody at any time in life. It just may look different. So if you're a retiring dancer from maybe, or someone that's interested in bringing it back into your life, recognizing that it's not ever going to be the same, and that's okay. And there's beauty in those types of challenges. I think our bodies are built in a way to support our lives in whatever phase we're in. So just, giving yourself grace during, whatever phase of life and your dance journey that you are in.
That's amazing, and I love how you said that dance is for everybody and, anytime, no matter what you're going through, and yes, like, it can be hard, I'm sure, as, a trained dancer to look back and be like, "Oh, I used to be able to do this so easily, and now things are a struggle," because we do age, right? And life happens, and just being okay with that, be like, "Okay, that's just the phase I'm in," and now you're doing beautiful work, teaching, and, you're still involved with dance, and I'm sure you're just as inspirational today as you were back then, right? It just might not look exactly the same, right? So everything happens when it's supposed to be. And I just feel like it's such a beautiful story you have. So thank you for sharing. But how do you think, like, going through dance as, a kid and like into adulthood, how has that shaped you like as a person, and how does that affect your life today?
I think I'm more at peace with life because I have dance. Um, I there's two ways to look at dance, right? Like dance being like your life and you want to make a career out of it, or dance being your life and that's something that is like providing joy. I think for the way that dance has helped like transition for me from like child, college, and into adult dance is that it's always been fun for me. I've never put any like stipulations on it, allowed myself to have fun in like the challenge of getting older and still dancing, but letting it still maintain my peace. And I think that also comes with knowing when to take a break when it might not be serving that purpose for you anymore. There's been times where like I'm just not feeling like dance is inspiring me in that moment. And I never want it to be something that I feel like is a chore or a job. So I think, how it's helped me like in all ways of life from being a kid to now is stress management, really like number one. I think that could be it. Like that's it. Like
Yes.
that's the period.
And
Like
that's
after that.
huge. I mean, it's not a small thing, right? Like, how many people need something for stress
Yeah.
management? Like, life is stressful. So, and
Yeah.
I
And I
feel like
was not a yeah, it is stressful, and I feel like I wasn't, like, a gym person or, like, they say that, like, moving your body, like, makes you feel better, like, gym, like, can't do all these things,
yes.
but it's a way for you to trick your brain into doing something for your body that makes, sets off those endorphins, but then also, helps with that mental aspect as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure you saw the study, right? I think I mentioned this in every interview, but there was, the study that came out last year that showed that dance is the number one way to fight depression. So, I mean, of course, you and I, we already knew that, but it's good to have that data that we can share with people so that people understand, like, dance isn't just something that you can do just to step out of your comfort zone and, become a professional dancer. It's not about that. It's about everything else it could bring to your life, like stress management, like you mentioned, help with your mental health, boost confidence. There's so many different things that dance has to offer you. And the reason I started this podcast is to showcase, the effect of dance on people's lives to inspire more people to get dancing, no matter what that looks like to them. And
Absolutely.
what is something that you wish all your students knew about you? Maybe something that they'd be surprised to know that you can share.
That's so funny. Most of my students are adults.
Okay.
So for my kids, they think everything you do is the coolest thing in the world. So you could tell them that you have a dog and they're like, "Yep, you have a dog. You are set in life." With my adults, I really feel like I'm an open book, and I think that is why this atmosphere has been growing, like, and expanding. I do think that we've created like this family because of this open dialogue that we're having about like us as human beings and then also us in the studio. The company kind of part of it, the reason it started was just like needing that human connection that I was also missing from not doing any like team sports as an adult. So I don't know. I would have to ask them. I feel like they know everything. And sometimes they know things faster than I do because I don't have a good poker face. I show exactly how I'm feeling right on my face. And they'll be like, "Ooh, you were not too happy with us at rehearsal today." I'm like, "Oh, you guys really could tell." I didn't mean to be so like expressive about it. So I would really have to ask them that one because I think they know too much maybe sometimes.
Yeah. But it's great though because you showcase how, your classes aren't just about dance, right? They're about, like you said, building community and friendships. And how important is that today, right? I feel like since the pandemic, we've had this epidemic of loneliness, right? We feel so alone all the time, and it's so hard to make friends after a certain age. Like you look like you're a little younger than me, but after I became a mom, I realized how hard it is to make friends after, because some of your friends maybe don't have kids or their kids aren't the same age, and it's trying to find out like, where do I fit in. So finding something like a dance group like yours is a way to have that social connection, do something you love, spend time on yourself, right? And so it just kind of blends the best of all worlds, I feel.
Yeah, and speaking of like making friends and like being like the challenges of like that as you get older. Our group is we have 2 17-year-olds that I let in just as like apprentices, but our group is really 18 to I think like 31 right now. And you can see that each age group has really found like a buddy at rehearsal that like fits like their lifestyle. So it was a way to bring friends in for myself, but also seeing like those little pockets of people that have those like-minded interests, depending on if it's age or just like interests outside of dance. That's like kind of like I guess like it like makes me choke up when I see everyone hanging out or doing things outside of the studio, like on a weekday or something like completely unrelated to dance for people that maybe I met in all different places of my life that are now like dancing with me now, or just people that I don't even know how they've made it into the studio. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are all friends. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and you started that. That's amazing. That's so
It's
cool.
cool. I say they started it, right? Like, I just put an Instagram flyer up and said, please come dance with me.
Mhm.
And they, challenged themselves, stepped out of their comfort zone to make it into the space. But it is really cool to see how many friendships have started and like have been fostered in the space. It really does like make me happy to
Yeah.
see.
I can tell, like, you just light up when you talk about it, and I think I think it's so impactful, and I know you said, "Oh, I just put up a flyer, you came to dance," but that's huge, right? Because maybe someone out there is listening and maybe they want to start something like what you're doing, start a dance class, and they think, "Oh, should I do it? Should I not?" And you should think about, every time you don't do it, you're just like delaying someone else who needs you. Someone out there is looking for your class and they need that class in their life. And just by you putting yourself out there, you're letting things happen for them, right? So I don't think it was just a small thing like when you put out a flyer. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and it takes courage to do that, right? To put ourselves out there. And I think it's great that you do what you do. So
Thank
what
you.
is, because you've worked with so many awesome people, like, is there a success story, maybe a recent one that stands out to you, like someone that shared with you, like, what, because of your classes, I've been able to now do this and that. What's something that you can share with us?
Yeah, I feel like there's like one micro story I want to share and like one macro story.
Okay.
So like the macro story, it just happened today, but like it like made my heart beat. Like when it happened, I had a dancer comment on one of our Instagrams and say that we're doing a great job making dance accessible to people. I think specifically in this area, maybe like the East Coast, like north of DC, dance has become extremely expensive and not for kids. So specifically in this adult space, I don't know anything about how to price kids dance classes. But for adult dance classes, I've been seeing like the prices start to rise, and I know that paying the instructors is also starting to rise. Economy, whatever the factors are,
Mhm.
but I'm seeing it getting like harder and harder to take dance classes. And this person said, thank you for making dance accessible. We're doing 9 classes, 45 minutes each, for $30 or $5 a class. So a whole day of dance for what really is the cost of sometimes one dance class. And I know it's a privilege to be able to do that because dance is not my full-time job and I'm not trying to really like $1 million of profit off of doing this. But, I encourage all these people that want to do these classes, do them, like make dance accessible for everybody. If your studio rental fee is X amount of dollars and you think you can get 5 people to sign up, like what is it going to take to get people in the door for the first time is making it easy for them to get there, right? So any new people out there that are trying to start doing, this journey of opening classes or doing company work, try it. Try it for free, see what happens, really get people in this space. And then, you'll be able to build this environment that people have access to. I think that is probably like my macro thing, my macro story. Like when I saw that Instagram comment, I was like, yes, dance should be accessible for everyone. I know it's expensive and I know things are hard, but at least there's like one place that maybe someone is able to take a class, whatever their situations may be. And then my micro story, I have a specific student, Erin Dolan. She has been dancing with me since the first audition for my company. So when I started my company, I just sent out an Instagram to all of my friends and said, hey, if I open a dance company, would you come dance with me? And we started off with like maybe 7 people, but then we had one like real audition. I have never met this girl. I have no idea where she came from at the time. She walked into this audition and she had a spark about her that I don't know if she even knew that she was like radiating in the room. Um, I had some, friends that were helping me with the audition process at the time, and they did not think that she was going to be a good fit for the company. They were like, "No, she is a fine dancer, but I don't see what you see." And I was like, "No, she is a star. Like she is going to be a star." And I took her anyway because at the end of the day, my rules. So I
Yeah.
took this girl and I put her in my company. I started her off as an apprentice, which is basically like a step below being a company member, to see how she worked in the space. Immediately was a superstar. Everything I could have like wanted from a dancer, just a hard worker, asking the right questions, not asking the wrong questions, really just being diligent in the studio, being an awesome person outside the studio. So now we're coming up on our 2nd year. And like we've had multiple layers of auditions. She is like one of my go-to people. She helps me with all my merch. She plans events for me. She does choreography. Her choreography is amazing. She's actually putting her first piece of work that she did by herself on the World of Dance stage, which is a huge competition for us in May. Just a light to be in the studio. And it was so exciting to watch her journey. And I don't say I had any part of it. It was all her, but just being able to share the studio space with her and just watch this transition of her kind of being this like star, but like back row star,
Mhm.
very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like modest, very modest, and now becoming this, front stage look at me star has been amazing. She has put in so much work to be there, and it's just been great to just watch, like watch it through the whole process of her again just walking into the studio as a complete stranger and really honing in on our values, the way that we run rehearsal, just like taking everything in, being a sponge, and seeing how great she's doing now.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, and especially how you said that other people didn't see what you saw. So if you hadn't believed in her and said, "You know what? She is a star, believe me," maybe she wouldn't have gone through that beautiful journey to be where she is now. So it goes back to what we were talking about, right? Like you have to follow your calling and listen to your intuition because there's always someone who's going to be impacted along the way and you never know how big that impact can be in someone's life. So it's beautiful. It's so nice to hear stories like that. This is always a part of the show that I love because it's like I love that ripple effect that happens through dance, right? So it's like one instructor inspires another and just like it keeps going. And what would you say like is the main, like the biggest kind of impact you want to make in the world?
The biggest dance impact or life impact?
Up to you.
I think it probably fits in the same bubble. I know how much peace dance brings to me, and I know that like it's shaped me in a million ways. And if it's just like a small piece of like, this is a safe space for people to come. We train really hard. It's not always looking like, yay, it's peace and butterflies in here. Some days I'm like, what are you doing? Because we are still dancing in this pro, semi pro space, doing competitions, a million things. So our classes are fun and they're built on being fun. And that is it. Like, that is the pure focus. But our company rehearsals are built on being fun and focused. I like to say fun and focused because we have to have that balance. Specifically in this area, I don't think that there's a lot of places to do that. So, still just like continuing the path of growing this space to be able to have dancers, share whatever they're looking for. It's a very collaborative space. I do a lot of sitting back and letting other people choreograph and kind of just putting the puzzle pieces together. I've had a lot of dancers teach their first class. I have a lot of dancers gain their confidence from filming stuff, right? So that they could do their dance reels. I definitely advocate for fair wages for sports teams. Get myself in trouble sometimes because I talk about it on the internet and people don't have the same feelings about fair wages with dancers. Advocating for proper auditions, renting studio space and buying costumes and rhinestoning and this, that, and the other becomes very expensive for dancers. So again, that the accessibility, like keeping dance accessible, sharing all the knowledge that I have with dancers that are still dreaming of those, pom poms or Broadway lights or whatever it may be, just being a resource for anything that comes through the door and hopefully just keeping that space open for any dancer that wants it.
Yeah. I love it. You're doing amazing things in the world. But what do you think is something the world needs of more nowadays in this crazy world we're living in? It doesn't
Time.
have to time, yes. More hours in the day, right?
Yeah, and I think more like time, more hours in the day, but also like more time to do things that make sense. And I think we work really, really hard, sometimes more than I think that we should have to. But like creating that space, like in, everyone's day to day that's like for them or for their family. Sometimes for family is just as stressful as work, right? So paving like specific time in everyone's day to be able to, take care of themselves, take care of their family, take care of their friends. So time, I think we need more of that.
We need more time.
Like, oh my God, how is it 5 o'clock a
Yeah.
day?
I feel that every single day. I'm like, "Oh my god, I already have to pick up my daughter from school. Like, how is it, like, already so
Yeah.
late?" Yeah.
Yeah. And just providing that space to just be and do something that, makes like is joy. And for me, that's dance. And hopefully for others, it is too.
Yep.
So, along with time, there should be more dance.
Yes. So, well, actually, that leads me into my next question. So, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting to dance, or maybe they're curious about dance, but maybe they're a little intimidated, right? Which is something I'm sure you've heard from people before. Like I get this all the time. Like, oh, I have two left feet, or I'm just not a dancer. So what would you say to someone like that?
I feel like the harsh reality is if you could walk, you can dance.
Yes.
Everyone has it in them because there's this natural rhythm that lives within our chest that provides us like our heartbeat actually is a rhythm that we can
Yes.
then translate into anything we want. I think being an adult is really hard to try anything new. And honestly, the advice that I always give, and it sounds so corny, I think the movie is called like We Bought a Zoo or something about buying a zoo. It's
Okay.
like maybe it's a Disney movie, Universal. I don't know. I'm very bad with movies.
Mhm.
The guy is talking to his daughter and he says, you can do anything with 30 seconds of insane courage. And if you just take
Love
the
that.
30 seconds to sign up for the class or 30 seconds to, even if you're like not there yet, 30 seconds to open the YouTube Zumba class and, you know, throw it on the TV or jazzercise back in the day. I don't even know if that even still
It
exists.
still exists. It does exist.
There's so
Yeah.
many options. TikTok videos, like even anything that you don't have to film it look good. It could be in your house, but just taking that 30 seconds of insane courage from I think How We Bought a Zoo
Mhm.
or We Bought a Zoo. I don't know. I like I live by that because I think that's everything. Like you're struggling to get out of the bed in the morning. Okay, 30 seconds. Like I could do it. Like you can do anything for 30 seconds and it kind of spirals you into doing whatever you were scared to do. Our attention spans are like 12 seconds. So that times two and we're ready to do whatever like challenge has conquered us.
Yes.
But everyone has the heartbeat. So everyone has the natural instincts to be able to do these things. And then, the fear is natural to everyone. And just take 30 seconds to do it.
Yes. I love that. And I love that quote. I'm going to look into that movie. I'll let you know if I find it. If not, I'll send you a message and be like, actually,
It's appropriate for your kids too. So
yeah,
it's a
perfect.
cute movie.
Yeah, and I love how you said that, as adults, it's harder, right, to try new things. And, I tell people this all the time. It's so interesting for me to watch my daughter. She's only 4, but when she learns something new and like she doesn't get it the first time, it's not like she's like, "Oh, you suck, like don't ever do this again," right? And as adults, that's what we do. It's like we expect to be good the first time we try anything new. And that's just it robs us of joy, right? And like because going through that journey of like failing, getting back up and and keep trying, like that brings so much life to our lives and it's so necessary. And we decide not to do that just because we want to be perfect the first time. And that's not realistic, right?
Never going to happen. I think just being forever a student, like just, it could be anything. Pick something new every day. And, my Nana always says that she feels like sometimes she's younger than her peers because she has stairs in her house because she has
Okay.
to walk up and down stairs every day. And it keeps
Makes
her young
sense.
because she has to walk up and down stairs. And if we have this mindset of forever being a student and challenging our brain in these ways that scare us sometimes, will keep us young and keep our brains healthy and happy.
And dance is great for your brain, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I mean, like, dance is the best thing in the world. It's good for everything. But, how about you share how people can get in touch with you? Maybe they live nearby, they want more information about your classes, and yeah, just share it all here.
Yeah. So our rental space that we rent from is called Ovations. It's in Oakland, New Jersey. It's in South Jersey. It's about 15 minutes outside of Philly if you're on the Pennsylvania side. We host pop-up classes frequently. We also have our company auditions if you're looking to dance more full-time. Most of our communication is done on Instagram. It's at Empire Dance NJ, but you can also find anything about me or my company on the website, which is www.createbybree.com. If you're looking specifically for Empire, a little slash Empire at the end. And then my own Instagram is at Bree970.
Amazing. And of course, I'll add all of that in the show notes so it's easy for people to click and get in touch with you. Well, thank you so much, Bree, for being on the show. I love hearing about your journey and all the amazing things that you're doing in the world.
So, well, thank you so much for having me.
And hopefully you'll come back to share with
Yes,
us
of
in the
course.
future. And thank you for tuning in today. If this is your first time checking us out, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, leave a review because that's the best way for other people to hear about the show and we can continue to spread the love of dance across the globe. Thank you so much again, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Yourself Brave show. If today's episode got you hyped, inspired, or just made you want to bust a move, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear today's message. Sharing is caring after all. And hey, don't forget, your courage is already in you. Sometimes you just gotta dance it out to feel it. Catch you next time, keep shining, and keep dancing yourself brave.